The trick-or-treaters have come and gone. Temperatures are dropping, and we've changed the clocks yet again. Jeremy Hauser, how has the fall season treated you and your advisors?
The fall season has treated us well. A lot of travel for our team, not just advisors, but personally too. Glad to finally have some stability here for the month of November with some family time and also business advisors closing out the year strong. The fall's been really good. Actually, in fact, looking back into October, I think one of the previous episodes earlier on this year, I referenced that we had the most paid business in my 12-year career here at InsureMark. So October ended up surpassing that. So another record-breaking month for my advisors on the paid business side. So that is a amazing thing to say, because that's a huge month for us, but also ending the year pretty strong. And fourth quarter is typically good for advisors that are recommending some of the products that we're doing with annuities, life insurance, et cetera. So good fall so far. Good fall.
Sounds like it. Congratulations. Now, have you started scaling your own business?
I have, though. So one of the things that we actually just got back from Palmetto Bluff. So that was for our family reunion. We did that in October. So out in South Carolina, beautiful place. Have you ever heard of it or been to it?
I've heard of South Carolina, yes.
Okay. So there's a place, we stayed at the Montage out in Palmetto Bluff. So that's where we did our family reunion, had some of our top advisors there. And really the focus of what we were talking about at that particular event was resources that InsureMark has that advisors are utilizing, sharing some success stories, what's coming in 2024. And really the key was a key term that we kept tossing around in our business meeting was scale. So scaling your business. So that's where for us here, especially internally as well at InsureMark, we're starting to scale up as well as our industry. I referenced on the previous episode or a couple episodes ago, our industry for fixed index annuities is currently for 2023 on pace to do over 100 billion of fixed index annuities. And then also for the future of the fixed index annuity space, some of the experts who've predicted that our industry was going to grow to 100 billion over a certain time frame, those same experts are showing and pointing to the numbers of 500 billion here over the next 7 to 10 years. So very exciting times for our industry. Therefore, at InsureMark, we've hired a lot of people, advisors. We're helping them with delegation, focusing on what really drives revenue. So internally for me, starting to have some extra help when it comes to business developers, reaching out to new advisors that are raising their hand, wanting to have a conversation with our team to hear more about some of the successful processes and systems advisors are using here at InsureMark. We also have some other individuals. So one of the gentlemen, his name's Elliot. He's starting to now grow as well. So he's helping me with not only my team, but also he's utilizing and growing his own team. So a lot of demand for advisors wanting to work with InsureMark. So we got to have the right people there to help service them. And then most importantly, for the sake of how Jeremy's starting to really brand out and help with not just my advisors, but help out, communicate with others, is just social media, just constantly the scaling of social media, starting to leverage some things called shorts within YouTube. So I don't know if, I know, Patrice, I sent that over to you. Have you actually heard of shorts though, before I sent that?
You know, I think it may have come up once or twice, but it's rather new to me.
Okay. And rather new to me as well too. So it's amazing the concept of how you can leverage AI and different resources here that our advisors are now using too. I mentioned it on our November AMP Mastermind call, some of the AI technology now, where you can cut up just some of these recordings similar to what we're doing now. And just within, I think, 2 minutes, it's going to have several clips that you can create of just shorts. And amazingly, within a day of uploading those, you can have up to hundreds of views on these shorts, just the power of YouTube. So a lot going on for scaling people, but also learning new technology, maximizing social media. So busy time right now.
Tell me about the family reunion. How did that go?
Family reunion was fun. It was a great time. We So we went to Cabo last year. This year we went to the Palmetto Bluff. A lot of new faces too, which is amazing because a lot of those new faces were amongst our team of Team Jeremy here. So we had a lot of people, first timers. The overall view of the event was just a very nice place, great weather. Advisors got an opportunity to hear from really, really successful advisors and breaking bread, doing some really fun activities together. So it was very positive. I'd say one of the main things advisors that we would hear during this is you guys are just, it feels like a family. So it fits the name of a family reunion. So a lot of organizations may do certain events that they've gone to with our friendly competitors before, but the feeling of this group and that camaraderie amongst those advisors, it's just different. My wife actually, in fact, this year, I was very proud of her. She ended up doing a spouse breakfast. So while the advisors went to the business meeting with us as we were running that for the morning of that Friday, my wife went ahead and actually invited the spouses amongst my advisors to a breakfast, since that's usually a downtime for them. And they all got together and had some good feedback. So it was a great event. If you get a chance, check out Palmetto Bluff. It was a really fun time out there at the Montage.
Sounds like it was a lot of fun for everybody too. That's great. Was there any common thing that came up among advisors during the meeting besides the fact that it feels so much like a family?
Besides feeling like a family, they just love the fact that we have these monthly calls with our advisors during the AMP mastermind calls. So doing the advisor mentorship program. So for our top advisors, those especially qualifying for Founders Club, they get an opportunity to see each other every single month in a video capacity, because we do these over a shared screen. We share best practices. So really it was being able to chat with those advisors in person. Actually, spouses, getting to meet spouses was really fun too, because in our business, a lot of individuals who are having the opportunity to grow as entrepreneurs, it gets kind of lonely out there. And the fact that they have like-minded advisors that they can link to, they can bounce ideas off of, they don't have the fear of them possibly cross-pollinating and stealing ideas and running business away from one another. A lot of our advisors just share. So it's good to have them actually in person, meeting with one another. Several things, from golf to the electric bikes. There were just so many events that we did that the team just really enjoyed. More so just that personal impact, because although we do a lot of stuff, talk a lot about the virtual world, our advisors really like having that bond with those individuals in a live setting and getting to actually once again break bread and share ideas. So that was really the theme. And then also talking about business planning for 2024 as well too.
Tell me about the business planning calls this year.
So we just started those actually. So we just started those for November. We're right in the mix of them here as this podcast is going to air. A lot of what the advisors this year in comparison to last year, a lot of the same type of, I would say, not necessarily their weaknesses, but things that they want to really work on is the time management, organization, but also it's that component of figuring out of the 80% of what is not necessarily revenue generating activity, how to delegate that out and how to really hone in on that 20% of revenue generating activity an advisor can focus on in their business to grow more efficiently. So that's where a lot of the focus is on these business planning calls. So we're talking about that, opportunities to hire new people, opportunities within our space of just helping their customers with the interest rate environment we're in right now. So there's a lot of good opportunity for customers to reposition some assets for protection. So scale, focusing on what is revenue generating activity, working on building out their teams as well too, hiring people, and really just internally man in the mirror type of moment, woman in the mirror, just focusing on they can better themselves for 2024 to take advantage of the opportunity of where the industry is going.
You said that's pretty consistent with last year. What about this year that's different? Is there anything that's different?
There are some things that are different. I would say, especially now, because last year we were coming out of 2022, the markets were down all across the board. So a lot of people had some uncertainties. The market hasn't necessarily gotten back to where it was back in January 2022, but as we record today, it's not. So we'll see where it's at by the end of November.
Are clients looking for more communication?
They really are. I can't tell you how many times I've had advisors who are, it's just the customer experience. I mean, you get the Amazons of the world, you get all these different things outside of necessarily our sector of the financial sector right now, where people are just very needy. They're very used to just having things on demand, and they want things now. Going back to those shorts, actually, that I referenced, people's attention span is not where it used to be, I'd say 5 or 10 years ago. So you have to have the right message, but you have to have the right processes in place to where when you do have somebody who's raising their hand and they're open to having a conversation, they want to be able to know more about you, but on their own terms too. So like, let's say Patrice wants to, I don't know, let's say you find out something online, whatever it may be. Do you just want to call that number immediately just to get information on that hot item that you would like, or would you like to do some research yourself prior to engaging? What would you say?
I'm researching, honey. I'm researching.
Now, realistically, let's get personal here. How long do you research? Let's just say a clothing item. Do you shop online?
Yes, I do. Okay.
Okay. You shop. Okay. So before pulling the trigger and actually purchasing, how long does that typically take you to decide to, okay, I'm going to buy that? What else are you doing?
It depends what it is. If if it's a big investment, I'll go out and check it out first in a store. Then I'll come back and I'll buy it.
Okay. And so what about, so big investment, let's stay on that topic then. So you'll go check that out. So what's entailed in your research? You're also looking at competitors, or you're looking at what are you going to necessarily look at?
I look at competitors, sure, and I'll look at reviews.
Reviews. That's a good thing too. What else? Anything else?
Isn't that enough?
I don't know. It's your stuff. So that's pretty good. Yeah, we'll let that be. So right, we are always, and it's on your terms too. So as the consumer is wanting to gather information on their own terms. So advisors are maximizing their brand online, maximizing possibly Google reviews, maybe they already have a Rolodex of customers that are advocates of the service that they've provided them. Therefore, for those individuals, they're going to be able to refer those people to them to have a conversation about what it's like to really work with that person, or they're maximizing and leveraging videos or podcasts or different stories on their website to educate the consumer before they even get on the calendar to have a conversation with them. So that's where there's huge opportunity. People are moving at their own pace, but we really just want to focus more on helping advisors with those processes to separate themselves from the competition. And as the years go on, and as Amazon and other companies continue to just really just monopolize a lot of the different industries out there with their information, the Facebooks and all these other social media websites, we have to make sure as the advisors are prepared to where for the 84 trillion of wealth that's going to be passed on here over the next 22 years, they're going to have the advisors are going to have the right message and the right platforms and the right processes to attract the right consumer.
And I will say, once that research is done, the decision is made quickly.
And how quickly is it delivered? Probably ASAP.
Oh yeah, tomorrow, Prime.
And if it's not, there you go. And if it's not Prime, and if it's not delivered, then they'll make sure they'll probably send you 2 in 2 days.
That's true. That's true. All right. Now, so for advisors who maybe they're listening and they're thinking, I'm really not growing the way I had hoped to. I'm kind of stagnant here. What tips do you have?
Check out some podcasts. So check out some of our previous episodes. You're not alone, especially if you're currently not working with us here at InsureMark. A lot of advisors, there's a lot of interest in some of the resources and tools we're using. Check out some of the previous podcast episodes. Every call that I seem to have with some new advisors that are wanting to know more about what our team is doing, they always leave that call with an idea. And I always share with them that several ideas of best practices, and actually sitting down with some of my own advisors, they share some of that within the podcast. So check out the podcast, get to know us a little bit better. I'd also say for those that are looking to really scale, I mentioned earlier, it's $100 billion fixed index annuity industry going into 2024 is approximately what the numbers look like here, projected. So if the experts are saying this $100 billion industry is going to $500 billion, if you feel like you have not grown in the last 2 to 3 years, especially since 2020, when our industry continues to hit year after year from 2022 to 2023, a record-breaking year, then you are definitely missing a huge opportunity. And it might not just be you, it could be the team that you're currently with. So really, you want to be aligned with the right team to make sure that you're growing the most efficient way as possible, to not only capitalize on where the industry is going, but also you as an individual. Because at the end of the day, I can tell you that some of the top advisors we work with, they are able to actually take off 1 week every single month and grow their business. That can actually happen. You can have the right team in place. You just have to have the right systems and processes for that team to utilize, so you're having a better life to not just live, but also enjoying what you're doing and actually working on your business instead of in your business. So there's opportunity there for that too. And then I would say, let's see here. I don't know, Patrice. I think those are the main things.
And maybe they can contact you.
They can contact us. Yes. And then I would definitely say, actually, one more thing, because I do something that slipped in my mind. I mentioned it on 2 podcast episodes ago, I believe. It was the book 10X is Easier Than 2X. Highly recommend you to read that book. So if you feel like you're being stagnant or your business is stagnant at the moment, make sure to check out that book by Dan Sullivan. That is a very powerful book. We've had advisors already starting to not just read it, but also implement some of their strategies amongst that book to get the right mindset. They're starting to now, advisors are really focusing on that revenue generating activity. I referenced it earlier, that 20% is what you really need to be focusing on, delegating the other 80. So for those that are stagnant, I'll go back to you guys and girls. Make sure that you check out that book too. So sorry, what was your question?
The question is, how can they reach you?
How can they reach me? They can reach us at advisormentorship.com. So that is our website. Feel free to click on the Learn More button, and we'll send our introduction kit over to you, or feel free to just follow us on LinkedIn. Reach out to us. We're more than happy to have one of our business developers get in touch with you, put you on our calendar, and hopefully, as we're doing business planning calls for our advisors in 2024, if you don't already have something in place, that you have an accountability partner to really build on your 2024 planning, feel free to reach out to our team. Let's see if we're a good fit. And then hopefully we can add some value with some of the resources that we have.
Thank you. Take that. Jeremy, that was great. Thanks so much for the update. Listener, don't miss any of Jeremy's updates or interviews. All you have to do is this podcast and let everyone else know about it by sharing. Thanks for being with us.